This is Galilee Calling. My name is Dan Gordon. I'm a screenwriter by trade. I've written such movies as The Hurricane with Denzel Washington, Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner, and for 3 years I worked with my own personal rabbi and teacher, Michael Landon, on a show called Highway to Heaven. But what you see behind me isn't a movie set. This is a forward artillery post in a very real war, one that was forced upon Israel when Hizballah crossed Israel's internationally recognized border, killed 8 of its soldiers, and kidnapped 2 others, and dragged Lebanon and Israel both into a war which neither one wanted. Wars in this part of the world don't happen in a vacuum. They happen within a historical context, a political context, a spiritual context, and a biblical one. If you don't believe me, the flag that's on that 155mm howitzer behind me is called a Messiah flag. It was given to these soldiers by a visiting rabbi who came out to give them spiritual comfort. I don't think it's there by chance. A week ago, there was a rather extraordinary archaeological find, not here in Israel, but in Ireland. The find was a 1,000-year-old manuscript of the Book of Psalms that was unearthed by a backhoe that was digging in a bog. What's extraordinary is that this manuscript survived for over 1,000 years. But perhaps what is more meaningful is what page it was opened to. It was found open to the 83rd Psalm. Keep not thy silence, O God, hold not thy peace. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have taken counsel against thy people. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. V'yidu ki ata shimcha Adonai, levadecha elyon al kol haaretz, that they may know that you, whose name alone is Adonai, are supreme over all the earth. Joining us is Major Michael Oren, who, when he doesn't have his uniform on, is Dr. Michael Oren, one of the world's foremost experts in Near East affairs and the author of the definitive work on the 1967 war called 6 Days of War. So when the Psalm talks about the people of Ashur, that's where what?
People of Ashur, it would be located in present-day Iran and Iraq.
And when we're talking about the Philistines?
Philistines would be in Gaza, all the way up the coast, Ashkelon, Ashdod, and as far west as the Elah Valley where David fought Goliath.
And when it refers to the people of Tyre, what significance does that have today?
Well, right now Israel's being fired at from Tyre.
I'm not an Orthodox Jew, but in the past 2 weeks of warfare, I've heard the sound of cannon fire, and I believe I've heard the sound of the voice of the Lord. For Galilee Calling, this is Dan Gordon. Shalom.